common right now to find somebody who has paid maybe $60,000 or $65,000 for a very high-end pickup truck. Well, even the average pickup truck now is going to be crossing over that $50,000 barrier.
Dealers in over a dozen states are practically giving away America's most popular trucks, and nobody's talking about why. These aren't clearance bin pickups. They're bestsellers, now sitting untouched with five-figure discounts and full warranty bundles. From Fresno to Minneapolis, trucks, once priced like gold, are being pushed out like scrap. Something cracked, and it goes deeper than just slow sales. So how did the most trusted trucks in the country become dead weight overnight? Why are dealers unloading inventory like it's radioactive? And what does this mean for your next truck, your resale value, your paycheck? Nissan Titan. It was once positioned as the bold alternative to America's full-size truck kings. With a massive 5,600 cubic centimeter V8 engine, a strong warranty, and a simpler price structure, this pickup had one mission: to punch above its weight without the ego of a Ford or a Ram. The Nissan Titan appealed to practical buyers who wanted capability without a luxury badge or bloated monthly payments. For a while, it worked, especially among construction crews and rural families. That all changed in the year 2023. Nissan abruptly discontinued the Titan, leaving dealerships and customers alike in limbo. The news hit especially hard in Georgia and Ohio, two states where full-size trucks are daily essentials. In Atlanta, inventory began to sit still. In Columbus, customers started asking one question: what happens if this truck breaks down in 5 years? Confidence collapsed faster than Nissan could explain the decision. Suddenly, a once trusted machine became the ghost of a dead product line. To move remaining units, dealers have gone into panic mode. In both states, they are offering rebates worth more than $5,000 United States dollars, lifetime powertrain coverage, and prepaid service plans that span 5 years. Some even include registration incentives or extended roadside assistance. Yet, despite the markdowns and bundled offers, hesitation lingers. Buyers are reluctant to commit to a vehicle that no longer has a long-term factory roadmap. A discontinued model always carries risk, but if fear of abandonment pushes a truck out of buyers' minds, just wait until you see what happens when a vehicle fails, because no one knows what it is trying to be in the first place. Honda Ridgeline. Comfort, innovation, and quiet capability. This truck was built to offer everything traditional pickups refuse to. Honda's Ridgeline fused the smooth ride of a crossover utility vehicle with a truck bed large enough for garden supplies, small furniture, and weekend gear. Its unibody chassis, rare in the pickup space, made it comfortable on pavement. Meanwhile, clever features like a waterproof in-bed trunk and a dual-action tailgate showed off Honda's flair for smart design. The idea? Truck practicality without truck punishment. But in practice, the Ridgeline struggled with identity. Buyers in Oregon, especially around Portland, passed on it for lacking off-road grit. Without the toughness of a body-on-frame design, it simply did not meet expectations in a region that thrives on trails and outdoor challenges. The same pattern emerged in upstate New York, where snow, salt, and rugged conditions revealed the Ridgeline's softer side. It was not about horsepower, it was about presence. And the Ridgeline felt more like a commuter than a hauler. Dealers responded the only way they could, by stacking incentives. Offers now include $0 down payments, bundled camping gear, winter tire upgrades, and long-term financing plans. Some stores have gone as far as including roof racks or tailgate speaker systems, just to make test drives happen. Yet perception remains stubborn. Buyers see the Ridgeline as a vehicle unsure of its own category, a pickup that tries too hard to be something it's not. Now, if confusion about identity leads to slow sales, the next truck on our list hit a different wall. One made not of perception, but of time, neglect, and missed evolution. We dug through regional inventory databases, incentive bulletins, and industry reports so you don't have to. If this kind of real market insight matters to you, tap that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications. We've got more brand breakdowns and insider lists coming every day. Chevrolet Silverado 1500. It was once a cornerstone of American labor. Chevrolet's Silverado 1500 built its reputation hauling lumber, towing trailers, and grinding through snowstorms from the Midwest to the Gulf. With its lineup of powerful engines, ranging from turbocharged 4-cylinder options to naturally aspirated 5,300 cubic centimeter V8 power plants, it offered buyers choice, reliability, and decades of brand familiarity. For many families, the Silverado was the truck passed down from one generation location to the next, but familiarity eventually turned into stagnation. Since its last major update in the year 2019, the Silverado has struggled to keep pace with rivals. In Illinois, particularly around Chicago, buyers now walk into showrooms expecting modern infotainment, soft-touch surfaces, and a premium ride. Instead, they get hard plastics, dated interfaces, and cabins that feel out of place in the 2020s. The story is no different in Oklahoma. In Tulsa, farmers and contractors are questioning whether the Silverado offers enough comfort to justify its rising cost. To address declining interest, dealerships are throwing everything at the problem. Discounts of over $6,000 are now common. Many locations are bundling in complimentary towing packages, oil changes, and multi-year interest-free financing terms. Still, it may not be enough. Buyers are not just comparing trucks, they're comparing lifestyles, and the Silverado's rugged-only image is starting to feel incomplete in a world that demands both utility and refinement. And while Chevrolet tries to rebuild trust with discounts and incentives, the next truck we'll look at made a far more dramatic leap, one that overshot the market entirely and stunned buyers across the country. Ford F-150 Lightning. It arrived as a revolution on wheels, an all-electric pickup truck promising to redefine American utility with zero tailpipe emissions and lightning-fast acceleration. The Ford F-150 Lightning boasted incredible specifications, up to 580 horsepower, 775 pound-feet of torque, and a towing capacity exceeding 10,000 pounds. Backed by the legacy of the best-selling truck in the United States of America, it seemed like the perfect bridge between tradition and innovation. It promised power without pollution, strength without sound, and a whole new future for full-size trucks. But as deliveries ramped up, reality started to break the illusion. Buyers in California and Nevada, where early orders spiked, soon found themselves facing a harsh truth. In Sacramento, customers who expected range parity with gasoline-powered rivals discovered that the Lightning's battery drained rapidly under towing conditions. In Las Vegas, summer heat and freeway speeds caused even more dramatic performance drops. Advertised ranges of over 320 miles quickly dropped to nearly 160 miles, with cargo in the bed or a trailer hooked up. Add to this the price problem. Fully loaded trims crossed the $100,000 threshold, far more than most families or small businesses could justify, even with federal tax credits. The math simply did not work for many potential buyers. Dealers are now offering $15,000 rebates, complimentary home charging station installations, and lease forgiveness programs just to keep inventory from sitting. Some locations even offer energy cost rebates through local utilities to help offset charging expenses. But if overloading a truck with expensive technology can alienate buyers, what happens when manufacturers lean too hard on the past and forget to update anything at all? Ram 1500 Classic. This was never supposed to still be on sale. The Ram 1500 Classic was initially kept around as a budget alternative after the launch of the redesigned Ram 1500 in the year 2019. It offered familiar features, a straightforward design, and respectable engine choices like a 3,650 cubic centimeter V6 and an optional 5,700 cubic centimeter V8 for truck buyers who prioritized utility and price over technology and luxury. It seemed like a smart buy, but year after year, the Classic just stayed, and it stopped feeling like a clever holdover. In Texas, especially around Houston, and in Pennsylvania, including Pittsburgh, buyers are now finding the Classic hard to justify. Step inside one, and it is a time capsule. Hard plastics dominate the cabin. The infotainment screen feels 2 generations behind, and basic controls lack the refinement found in even economy cars. The truck may get the job done, but it no longer feels competitive. As a result, inventory has piled up. Dealers are now cutting prices by more than $7,500 in an attempt to clear out stock. Bundled offers include extended warranties, accessory upgrades, and multi-year maintenance plans. But even these are not always enough. The market has moved on, and the Classic feels like it missed the last train. And if leaning on old bones does not move the needle anymore, the next truck proved that even flashy updates mean nothing if the price climbs too high for anyone to care. Chevrolet Colorado. High hopes followed the all-new Chevrolet Colorado when it launched. With a full redesign aimed at younger drivers, weekend adventurers, and budget-conscious contractors, it promised to deliver bold styling, advanced features, and best-in-class performance. The base engine, a turbocharged 2,700 cubic centimeter inline-4, delivered up to 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. Off-road trims like the Trail Boss and ZR2 models promised serious fun on rugged terrain, but the excitement evaporated when buyers saw the price tag. In Utah, particularly in Salt Lake City and across Florida, including Tampa, dealerships encountered strong walkaway rates. Buyers loved the way the truck looked and handled, but not the final cost. Entry-level models came in significantly higher than rivals like the Ford Ranger or Toyota Tacoma, while upper trims pushed deep into full-size territory without offering full-size value. This mismatch triggered aggressive dealer action. Price reductions of up to $5,000 United States dollars, cash bonuses, and low-interest financing packages are now standard. Bundles often include free roof rails, towing packages, or trail gear upgrades to make the price more palatable. Despite the specs, the perception of being overpriced is now firmly attached to the model in these regions. When strong fundamentals cannot overcome sticker shock, it is a sign that price positioning has failed. But not every truck stumbled because it changed too much. Some models waited far too long before changing at all, and now face the consequences. Nissan Frontier. Durability was the Nissan Frontier's strongest selling point. Known for its tank-like build, simple mechanics, and reputation for taking a beating without complaint, it served as a loyal work companion for buyers who valued toughness over tech. For over a decade, it kept the same no-nonsense platform, aimed at truck owners who just wanted a reliable mid-size hauler without the frills or fuss. That old-school charm earned it fans among contractors, outdoor enthusiasts, and value-minded families. But that same strength became its downfall. Nissan waited more than 10 years to give the Frontier a full redesign. By the time the update finally arrived in the year 2022, the market had already moved on. Buyers in Charlotte, North Carolina, and St. Louis, Missouri walked into dealerships expecting a leap forward and were met with a truck that, while refreshed, still felt stuck in the past. Even with a new 3,870 cubic centimeter V6 engine producing 310 horsepower and 281 pound-feet of torque, the Frontier failed to excite. Now, interest remains lukewarm. Dealerships in both states are rolling out 0% interest financing, off-road accessory packages, and extended maintenance plans just to make the sale. Some have bundled in roof racks, all-terrain tires, and even cash rebates on trade-ins. But none of it seems to spark real traction. The Frontier, despite its capable hardware, feels like a relic in a world that now expects refinement, tech integration, and a modern cabin experience alongside toughness. And if waiting too long to change can doom a truck, the next one on our list charges extra without actually offering anything different, at least not where it counts. GMC Canyon. Refined, upscale, and built for mid-sized truck buyers who wanted something a little more premium. That was the promise behind the GMC Canyon. Based on the same bones as the Chevrolet Colorado, it offered identical mechanical specs with a turbocharged 2,700 cubic centimeter inline 4-cylinder engine, delivering 310 horsepower and 430 pound-feet of torque. On paper, the numbers were more than competitive. The Canyon was supposed to be the truck that brought style and subtle luxury to the midsize space, but buyers quickly saw through the strategy. In cities like Phoenix, Arizona, and Detroit, Michigan, customers started doing what the manufacturer didn't want, comparing the Canyon side by side with the Chevrolet Colorado. What they found was almost no difference, except for the price. For the same engine, chassis, towing capacity, and bed length, the Canyon cost between $3,000 and $5,000 United States dollars more. Critics began calling it a textbook case of badge tax, paying more money for the illusion of more value. To salvage showroom traffic, dealers are now cutting hard. In both states, markdowns exceeding $5,000 United States dollars are common. Some throw in leather seat upgrades, custom grille packages, and free maintenance plans to close the deal. But perception is hard to rewrite once it settles. Buyers no longer see the Canyon as a better truck, just a pricier twin. And in a mid-size market where value matters most, that mismatch is deadly. And what if a truck looks great, performs well, and costs the right amount, but makes your daily drive feel like a chore every single time you leave the pavement? Jeep Gladiator. There is no denying its trail capability. The Jeep Gladiator arrived on the scene as the ultimate off-road pickup, a Wrangler with a bed built to dominate rocky terrain, deep mud, and narrow trails with confidence. Equipped with heavy-duty Dana 44 axles, off-road tuned suspension, removable doors, and a folding windshield, it captured the attention of adventure lovers across the country. For drivers who wanted to explore and haul gear into the backcountry, it looked like the perfect solution. But buyers in Denver, Colorado, and Burlington, Vermont soon discovered a painful trade-off. What the Gladiator delivers on trails, it surrenders on pavement. On highways and city streets, the steering feels vague, the ride is jittery, and cabin noise is excessive, especially compared to other mid-size pickups. Its rough road pedigree makes it a chore for daily commutes. For most Americans, that mismatch is impossible to ignore. As sales slow, dealers have begun aggressively targeting off-road enthusiasts and lifestyle buyers. In both Colorado and Vermont, offers now include free trail gear, roof-mounted tents, trail kits, and cashback incentives. Some dealerships are even customizing new Gladiators with winches and lift kits to increase appeal. But even then, buyers are cautious. For a truck that can cost over $50,000 United States dollars when fully equipped, comfort matters. And in this case, it just is not there. So while the Gladiator excels in one environment, it struggles everywhere else. And even when a truck works perfectly for a niche, it can still fall behind if it cannot handle the daily grind. Which begs the question, what happens when a truck gets squeezed from both sides in its own lineup? Ford Ranger. Designed as the practical choice for buyers who needed capability without the bulk of a full-size pickup, this mid-size truck promised versatility, maneuverability, and proven engineering. The Ford Ranger filled a long vacant gap in the automaker's lineup, sliding neatly between the compact Ford Maverick and the full-size Ford F-150. Equipped with a turbocharged 2,300 cubic centimeter inline-4 engine, producing 270 horsepower and 310 pound-feet of torque, it offered solid towing capability and a footprint manageable enough for city dwellers. Yet that in-between position quickly became its undoing. In states like Arizona and Indiana, where pickups serve both work and recreation, buyers could not justify the Ranger over its siblings. In Tucson, buyers leaned toward the Maverick for its lower price and hybrid efficiency. Meanwhile, in Indianapolis, drivers with heavier workloads continued to default to the F-150 for its long-standing reputation, brand loyalty, and towing dominance. Caught in the middle, the Ranger failed to carve out a clear value proposition. To fix this, dealers in both states are layering incentives. They are offering bundled trailer packages, infotainment upgrades, and four-season tire kits to give the Ranger a stronger niche. Some are extending warranty coverage and interest-free financing over 72 months. Despite the extras, inventory continues to accumulate. Consumers want clarity when choosing a truck, and the Ranger sits awkwardly between utility and value. And if the middle cannot hold, if a truck cannot stand on its own between two more successful models, what happens when a manufacturer goes all in on change and ends up leaving its entire fan base behind? Toyota Tundra. For nearly 2 decades, this full-size pickup earned a reputation as a dependable workhorse with bulletproof reliability. Buyers came for the naturally aspirated V8 engine, stayed for the low maintenance costs, and returned for that old-school Toyota durability. It was never flashy, but it never needed to be. The Toyota Tundra became a staple in fleets, ranches, and suburban driveways across the country, trusted for doing its job without complaint. Then came the overhaul. In the year 2022, Toyota replaced its beloved V8 with a twin turbocharged 3,445 cubic centimeter V6 hybrid system, producing 437 horsepower and 583 pound-feet of torque. On paper, the numbers looked revolutionary. In practice, the reception was anything but. Longtime Tundra buyers in Seattle and Sioux Falls were skeptical. Concerns about long-term reliability, high-voltage components, and costly maintenance overshadowed the performance improvements. Despite rebates exceeding $3,000 United States dollars, loyalty cash offers, and dealer-specific bundles, adoption has been sluggish. Some dealerships in Washington and South Dakota are even advertising fuel vouchers, accessory credits, and free service plans just to ease fears. Yet the sentiment remains clear. Toyota tampered with a winning formula, and many loyalists are not ready to adapt. The simplicity that once defined the Tundra has been replaced with complexity that feels more risky than refined. But while Toyota may have alienated its core base, the The next automaker made no such daring leap. Instead, it just kept producing long after demand had faded, and now it is drowning in inventory no one asked for. Ram 1500. Widely regarded as one of the most refined full-size pickups on the market, this truck won hearts with its upscale interior, smooth ride, and strong powertrain options. The Ram 1500 offered luxury-class amenities in a segment that had long been dominated by toughness over comfort. With real wood trim, soft leather upholstery, massive touchscreen displays, and available V8 performance, it attracted both utility-minded workers and suburban families wanting something premium. But in the year 2024, the market shifted, and Stellantis did not. As inflation squeezed households and interest rates climbed, demand for full-size pickups slowed across the United States. Ford and General Motors scaled back production to match, but Ram kept the lines running. Nowhere is this miscalculation more visible than in Newark, New Jersey, and Lexington, Kentucky, where inventory has surpassed 175 days of unsold stock. To combat the surplus, dealerships have slashed prices by more than 10,000 United States dollars on certain trims. They are offering record-high rebates, top-dollar trade-in bonuses, multi-year interest-free financing, and accessory credit packages to move stagnant inventory. Some are bundling free maintenance, roadside assistance, and even lifetime warranties on powertrains to entice cautious buyers. But the damage is done. The market is oversaturated, and buyers sense it. The Ram 1500 may still be an excellent truck, but perception now defines its sales more than performance ever did. When lots are overflowing, urgency disappears, and even great products start to look like yesterday's news. And if Ram misjudged demand, the next truck on this list misjudged presence. Because even when it performed well, it simply disappeared into the crowd. GMC Sierra 1500. Refinement, brand prestige, and upscale styling, this truck was built to elevate the full-size segment. The GMC Sierra 1500 positioned itself as a premium alternative to mainstream work trucks, offering chrome accents, high-end trim packages, and cushioned ride quality that aimed to attract buyers seeking both power and luxury. With its striking presence on the road and an emphasis on materials that felt a step above, it was marketed as the ideal choice for those who wanted utility without giving up comfort or status. But beneath the surface, the Sierra shared everything with the Chevrolet Silverado. Same frame, same engine options, same chassis. What differed was the price. In showrooms across Minnesota, particularly in Minneapolis, and across South Carolina, including Charleston, that price gap of $4,000 to $6,000 United States dollars became impossible to justify. Buyers realized quickly that they were paying more for a badge and cosmetic upgrades, while getting no substantial increase in performance or reliability. Now dealerships are being forced to confront the pricing problem head-on. In both states, incentives include extended warranties, complimentary maintenance for up to 5 years, free technology upgrades, and zero-interest financing stretched over 84 months. Some dealers are even offering loyalty cash bonuses and bundled accessories to sweeten the deal. Yet, despite these aggressive offers, inventory continues to pile up. Customers who once aspired to own a Sierra are choosing competitors with real interior upgrades and true performance separation. And that brings us to one final truck, one that was supposed to be untouchable, unbeatable, and unshakable. But now even its crown is starting to slip, and it no longer holds the loyalty it once commanded. Ford F-150. Power, heritage, and unrivaled sales dominance. This was the truck that defined American strength. The Ford F-150 has topped national sales charts for more than 4 consecutive decades, dominating both rural job sites and suburban garages alike. With countless trims, a range of engine options, including hybrid and turbocharged 6-cylinder variants, and a reputation built on toughness, the F-150 became more than a vehicle. It became a symbol of working-class America, trusted by farmers, contractors, and families from coast to coast. But in recent years, that reputation has started to buckle under the weight of its own ambition. As Ford pursued the luxury truck market, fully loaded trims of the F-150 began pushing well past the $100,000 United States dollar mark. In Ohio, particularly in Cleveland, and throughout California, including Fresno, that shift alienated longtime buyers. The average consumer, once able to comfortably afford an XLT or Lariat trim, now found themselves priced out of their own brand's legacy. Dealerships are feeling the fallout, Incentives in these states now include discounts that exceed 10,000 United States dollars, along with multi-year service packages, complimentary maintenance plans, and loyalty rewards for previous owners. In some locations, Ford has introduced lease forgiveness programs and trade-in bonuses to lure back hesitant buyers. But the damage to the F-150's identity is already visible. What was once viewed as the everyman's truck is now being seen as overly complex, unnecessarily luxurious, and no longer affordable. When even America's most trusted pickup truck ends up on clearance racks across multiple states, it is a signal that something far deeper is happening within the auto market, and the buyers are no longer willing to play along. 14 trucks, once untouchable, now collecting dust with 5-figure markdowns. If this helped you dodge a bad deal, hit like, drop a comment with the truck you were watching, and subscribe for more real market breakdowns dealers hope you never see.